Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is WindyCityPeach, and today I'm going to talk about 5 non-gardening related benefits to having a garden. So a lot of times people love to see my gardening videos. One of the things I love to share is how my garden looks in the morning. That's why I'm filming this in the mornings, because it's just so amazing being one with nature, seeing the bees go from, you know, bud to bud, pollinating and experiencing growth. And so I really wanted to give you 5 reasons why you should be gardening right now that have nothing to do with gardening at all. Number 1, I think it's completely rewarding to grow nothing into something. When I start out and I have my little seed, it is amazing to see something go from a little seed to a complete harvest and have something that you grew with your own hands and your own hard work. A lot of times I see those videos that go viral on the internet and they show all this hard work to garden, and they're like, oh, I saved $3 on my gardening bill, on my grocery bill. So yeah, it's just rewarding to me, I think, to grow something from nothing. I mean, just the idea of having a wonderful harvest and know that you had something to do with it, that to me is just, that's top notch. Number 2, mental health. I feel like putting my hands in the earth does wonders for my mental health. Whenever I am feeling frustrated or confused or just having kind of a bad day, I will a lot of times come out to my garden and just weed my garden, or just plant something, or just go out and spend time with nature. I do love that gardening is amazing for your mental health. So if you have problems with anxiety, which I do, if you have problems with seasonal depression or depression of some kind, this is the best method I can tell you. I tell people all the time, this is my therapy. My garden, looking at my garden, being one with my garden, that is my therapy, and that's why I love it so much. Number 3, you bond with other gardeners. I mean, it is so amazing how the gardening community is so helpful, and we usually come together to help people learn. There are so many different levels of gardeners. There are people that have never had a garden before. There are people that have had a garden for 2 or 3 years. There are people that have been gardening for 15, 20 years. They're seasonal garden. They are family of gardeners. They come from farmers and all that kind of stuff. And the beautiful thing is we all help each other out. I've been gardening now, I would say, for about 6 years, and I feel like I still have so much to learn, and every year I learn more and more. So whenever I have a friend of mine or someone that's experiencing something that they're confused about, an issue with fungus, an issue with pollination, an issue with, you know, something happening in their garden, I love to say, okay, let's troubleshoot it. So let's talk about what's happening. What is going on? What's happening to the vegetable? What did you do? Because every year is a learning process, and even me, 6 years in, even gardeners that have been doing it for 15, 20 years, they learn something new themselves every time they go into the garden. So I am the same way, and bonding and connecting with other gardeners, particularly other Black girl gardeners, people that look like me, that is amazing. And that is why I do this channel, because I know that there are some people that are gardening and they're like, I mean, I'm learning a lot, but they don't look anything like me. So I am here to be that Black girl representative, to let you know that yes, Black girls do garden too, and there are Facebook groups that talk about that as well. My next thing is, it's beautiful. Honestly, I just like looking at my garden. It is a beautiful thing to look at. It is a beautiful thing to see all the green. Sometimes people are like, oh, that photo is so beautiful. I don't add anything to the photos. I just take the photos, and just looking at it in and of itself is amazing. So it's just a beautiful sight to see something. Everybody gardening does not look like mine. I feel like your garden is sometimes a reflection of your personality. You know, if you're like an extra person and you like all this kind of big stuff, your garden is gonna look like that. I like colors and things to look really pretty, so I feel like my garden kind of reflects that aesthetic. Every garden has its own you know, personality, and I think that that's beautiful. And you too, if you get into gardening, you're gonna find that you can't just plant one thing. You're gonna plant 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and eventually you'll have, you know, your own beautiful large garden. The last thing I would say is that one of the advantages of gardening is that you are creating a legacy. My mother is a gardener. I've shared videos of her garden and her yard. This is one of them darn cabbage moths. I do not like them. Ugh. I have so many of them in my garden right now and I'm so irritated. Okay, sorry. I think gardening is a beautiful legacy to pass down. Like I said, my mother has a garden. She gardened when I was a child. Actually, not my grandmother, but my great-grandmother gardened, and that was something that has been passed on. And I love to share gardening with other people because I know that it is a legacy that will last forever. I get my seeds from my friend LaShonda's father, who has a farm in Georgia. And I always tell people that because I like to get his seeds, because his seeds came from his seeds that he's been gardening, he's been farming for like 15-20 years. And so every season he sends me some seeds from Georgia, and they come from his garden or from his farm. I keep calling it a garden, but it's not a garden, it's a farm. And he's been doing it for years and years and years. And that is a legacy that he started 15-20 years ago that is now being passed down to me. And I often share my seeds. I'm always very open with sharing my seeds with other people because I know that that is connection. And so it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful community, a beautiful legacy that I'm happy to be a part of. I don't take it for granted that there were people who farm for a living. There were my ancestors that farmed and gardened because they had to feed their families. I do this for fun. Of course, I eat the fruits of my labor, literally, but this is also something that I enjoy to do, and that is a legacy that I am creating, and I'm sharing it with you all. So I hope you enjoyed these 5 reasons why you should be gardening right now that don't have anything at all to do with gardening. And make sure you give me a thumbs up. Share this on your pages. Share this with the gardeners in your life. Tell them how amazing gardening is, and I hope that you will join me gardening next time. All right, guys. Bye.